All the goth DJs and Twitch witches are hanging out on Thursday for the bad VHS rips, unblinking eyes, and fire by night. Thetans and Satans comes from an interest in the cult of Scientology, moral panics, Satanism, and how they set the tone for the extremist social media panics of today. We really earn our Weird Left Twitch badge with this show, watching the world go red light in reverse every Thursday at 9 p.m. Pacific on twitch.tv/EchoplexMedia. Find our full schedule at echoplexmedia.com.
Police officers, they've gone insane.
I don't hate the cops. There's a person inside when the truncheon stops. Oh, don't hate the cops. Oh, when the raiders come, who will protect the shops? Don't hate the cops. They're a sensitive bunch. If you don't stop throwing your rocks, snap, crackle, pop is the sound of a taser. Your body drops. Don't hate the cops. Oh, don't hate the cops. Don't hate the cops. Oh, don't hate the cops. Like your local police, cause they don't do nothing wrong. Like your local police got rid of the corruption and the racism is gone. They've been keeping the peace, keeping homeless folks out of the parks and malls. Got a cure for your social disease. Follow the law, don't hate the cops. 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 Put your hands above your head and show you're not afraid. I'm the fairest judge that your skin color's gonna get. And if you die before the sun comes up, the paperwork will take forever. Well, it might have worked out a little bit better if you didn't hate the cops. Cause they don't do nothing wrong. Don't hate the cops. You can't blame them for just doing their job. Don't hate the cops. Well, you gotta wonder, how much would it cost for you to be shot at and stabbed at by maniacs and drunks? Don't hate the cops. 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 Don't hate the cops.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Plex, where sometimes we accidentally play the wrong song first. We do this show live every Sunday, 7 p.m. Pacific, right here on Twitch, twitch.tv/EchoplexMedia. A lot of ways to support this project. Just head on over to echoplexmedia.com, click the support tab, and you can find the way that works best for you, if any. And with that, here's a song that I can only assume is about Twitch streamers.
You
All right, so every once in a while I find something that's pretty crazy and I have no idea like where it belongs on our story list, and so I put it first. And this is one of those times. I don't know what to say about this. Only watch the first 10 or 15 seconds of it. It's wild.
We're being taxed into fucking poverty, and you fucking support it. And you say, oh, it's okay. Joe's doing a good job. Joe's doing a good job. His son's fucking doing drugs. We got it on fucking video. Fucking proof. We got
Wait. This guy seems like he might have done some drugs. I'm just going to guess that this is a person who has consumed, imbibed drugs in his life, which is fine. I am for the decriminalization of drugs. So
fucking supporting goddamn riots, burning fucking cities down, defunding fucking cops, everything else. You want to fucking sit there and support it. You want to fucking ban me for telling me.
No, I don't want to ban you.
Telling you, you're fucking wrong. You want to sit here and you want to fucking support this shit, ban me on social media, ban other people that think the same fucking thing on social media. We are American, free
he
fucking
seems not banned.
Fighting for our rights and our freedom of fucking speech, our freedom fucking period. And you fuckers want to sit there.
I mean, I'm not, the language police, but this dude a bit sweary.
And get us banned and fight against us and treat us like shit when we're fighting for your fucking lives. You motherfuckers can fuck off. I don't care if I get fucking banned or not. I'm sick of this bullshit across the
I don't think anybody's going to ban this guy from any social media. This is entertaining.
Fucking bored. Our Constitution, our forefathers fought for our fucking freedoms, fought for our freedoms of speech, fought for our freedoms of fucking rights, fought for our freedom of expression, fought and wrote the Constitution.
This guy needs a nap and a sandwich.
Against
desperately.
The dictatorial fucking government, and you fucking people want to sit here and keep supporting them. I'm fucking sick of it. You can ban me if I want to. I don't give a
Yeah, we've been over that part.
Go ahead, ban me. You won't stop me. This is fucking online. I'm out in the fucking real world. I will not stop until our freedom is defended, and I will not fucking stop until we are free and until we are fucking proven right. I will not fucking stop. You
Okay.
can send who you fucking want.
Send who?
You can fucking ban what you want. I'm sick of your fucking shit. You're an American, fucking act like it. I'm tired of fucking having to get banned for defending our rights. I'm tired of being banned for defending our freedom of speech. I'm tired of being banned for defending our right to stand against this crooked motherfucker and his stupid fucking family. That motherfucker snorts coke. He smokes fucking crack. He spends time with fucking prostitutes.
Sounds pretty based. I mean, I don't do hard drugs anymore, but it sounds pretty
Even
based.
underage prostitutes, and you fucking know it.
No,
I'm
there's no
sick
evidence
of
of
fucking
that.
defending myself against you motherfuckers, and I'm telling you what, you want to keep fucking banning people? Go ahead. You can do it online, and you can do it from your grandma's fucking basement, but I'll guarantee you,
50-50, this guy's in like his parents' garage, right?
I will fucking guarantee you, as real as God fucking exists, you try to come to me in the fucking streets and tell me I'm fucking wrong. I fucking challenge you.
I mean, I thought he was for free speech, and now he's like, well, don't come up to me and disagree with me in real life. You're either for free speech or you're not.
Any one of your fucking groups that want to come up to me and tell me I'm fucking wrong, I fucking challenge any.
I'd actually
single
avoid
one of
this
you
guy.
motherfuckers. You fucking bring it. And whoever's fucking watching my stupid ass TikTok and fucking banning me and censoring
This just keeps going.
fucking challenge you. When the shit hits the fucking fan, motherfuckers. When the shit hits the fucking fan, I will be on the opposite side of the fan, and you fucking will be covered in shit. I guarantee it. Our forefathers are rolling in their fucking graves right now listening to the fucking bullshit you fucking spew. I'm fucking sick of it. You will not roll up on my land. You will not roll up on me. And you
This guy's probably in a homeowners
will
association.
not enforce your fucking bullshit laws on me. You will not enforce your bullshit dictatorial bullshit on me.
Okay.
I will not fucking take it. Our forefathers stood with fucking muskets against a whole country. A whole fucking country. They wanted to take our freedom.
Head cannons,
and they
too.
did not take shit. And they fucking won. What do you think will
Oh, there's a
fucking
history
happen
lesson.
when you idiots try to step against us? This is America. We are free. We gave away billions of fucking dollars under this stupid motherfucker Biden. We will not give any more. We did not defend our fucking veterans sitting out in the streets, hungry, starving, without fucking housing, but you let illegal
So he's a housing advocate?
fucking border and gave them fucking everything. I will not go quietly. I will not offer quarter. I will not offer peace. I will not offer fucking surrender. You will get with the fucking program this country is written under, or you will fucking perish.
Is this guy I feel like this guy was missing from our coverage of the Shasta Board of Supervisors last night. I feel like he would have been a real hit given a speech there. I don't know who these people are talking to when they do this, where they like point their phone at their face and just like yell into their phone. I have no idea who they're talking to. Like, is he talking to me? I think he might be talking to me, but I mean, I can't really help him. I'm not trying to get him banned from TikTok. I just don't understand. A lot of times I just don't understand this stuff. But like I said, I didn't really know where to put that, so I had to put it first. Because, I mean, you know, sometimes you need something kind of sticky at the beginning of your podcast, maybe for people to fucking stay tuned in. Anyway, now we're moving on to the part of the docket, unfortunately, that's about the indictments. So here is, this is Elena Haba reacting to the not guilty pleas and just talking about like how inconvenient the court dates are. Because, you know, if anybody here has ever had to go to court or anybody know anybody who had court proceedings, the first thing the courts do is make sure that everything's just real convenient for you.
Welcome back to this special edition of Hannity. Earlier today, former President Donald Trump waived his right to an in-person arraignment and pled not guilty to the charges in Georgia. That means Trump has now officially pled not guilty to all 91 alleged crimes in all 4 jurisdictions. Here now with reaction is Trump legal spokeswoman Alina Habba. Alina, thanks for being here. I feel like we're going to have update after update after update after update because this is what they've done. This is what they've set into motion. Give us an update on what this means as it pertains to the case down in Atlanta and what the Trump legal strategy is.
I think it's not surprising that he pled today not guilty.
So what is a legal spokesperson? That's not his attorney. What is a legal spokesperson? Is it just like a spokesperson?
Right to go in for an arraignment in person because why give them more of a media frenzy? We don't need that. So, from here we actually get to litigate the case, which as an attorney I look forward to. I know our legal team does as well, to getting to take our own turn at looking at all of the information and our own turn to put our side out, which is something that everybody needs to remember has not happened as of yet. 4 indictments are simply that, an indictment, which is just one-sided BS, for lack of a better word, on their political scheme to interfere with the leading candidate for president.
So, Alina, this is all ridiculous. It's all a circus. It's all meant to interfere inside the timeline and the election process. That's a given. So these questions sort of come with that sense of how it's. But if you're planning for Georgia, the D.C. Timeline was just set for March 4th, as we know, the day before Super Tuesday, much sooner than your team had anticipated. What do you anticipate for a timeline down in Atlanta? Like, how quickly are they going to
Like I said, most people, when people are accused of crimes, what the court does is like, well, we got to make sure this is convenient for the person accused of the crime. No, I'm just kidding. That's what doesn't happen.
Let's be clear, the Jack Smiths and the Fannie Willises and the D.A. Braggs and the Letitia James, if they could have it their way, they would have all trials the same week. It's unrealistic, it's ridiculous, and it's obvious. So what I think is happening is the judges are going to have to fight it amongst themselves. You cannot have one defendant on multiple cases. But if you do look at the timeline, like you mentioned, every single event from the indictment to the rushed grand jury years after the events took place, when they didn't need to rush it, they could have had it 2 years ago. Every single thing says very clearly, Joe Biden doesn't know what he's doing in office, so let's distract America so that all we talk about is President Trump and these hoaxes. And that's really all they are. So what are they? We're going to obviously argue that it's impossible for one person to be in 4 different places. We're going to argue that this is election interference. And then we're going to take a look at each individual person and say, you ran for office based on the fact that you said you were going to get Trump. And so did you. And so did you. And now we need our Constitution and due process to step in and do its part. And if we don't have fair judges, unfortunately, we're not going to get that. So we have a great team. I love our legal team right now. I feel strong. The president feels strong. And we're going to take each one head on.
It is amazing. When you look at the Hunter Biden problem, indictment. Hunter Biden problem, add charges to indictment. Hunter Biden problem, indictment again. When do we set the trial date? Iowa caucuses. How about we do it the day before Super Tuesday? I've never seen anything like it. Of course, it's totally unprecedented. And the way you put it together, it is election interference. And keep us updated on what you're seeing. Appreciate your time. Alina Habba.
So like when regular people get charged with like multiple crimes, they just sometimes their court dates are like really close to each other if they're in like different jurisdictions. And it is kind of fucked up. Like for people who don't have a lot of resources, a lot of money, they don't have like the ability that this guy does to sort of get it out there in the media and stuff too. Like it's real hard. Like if you're accused of, maybe even just a couple petty crimes or whatever, and one of them's in one county and another's in another, and the court, your, arraignment or your court dates are 2 days apart or whatever. Yeah, it's kind of a pain in the ass. Unfortunately, like defendants have to deal with that shit all the time. It's not like this has never happened to anyone else. This is happening to somebody probably right now. You've just never heard of them. Here we go. Here's this Alina Habba is sure making the rounds. Here she is on the Greg Kelly show. I think it's on Newsmax, but I'm not sure. Here we go.
city, their town. And they're saying this is a woman who isn't getting crime off the streets. Letitia James, DA Bragg, New York. Crime is rampant. We've got our borders open. And what do we see? Them persecuting a man who created jobs in Manhattan, who was a self-made person, who wasn't bought by any political party or any political avenue or frankly anything, because he's his own man. And that's why they're coming at him. They don't really have any other venue to do it. So now we're seeing what I call political lawfare. We've heard it a lot in the past month, but that is what this is. It's not warfare. It's using the law in an inappropriate manner to further political gain because they cannot beat him.
And I remember, I'm old enough to remember that when the 9/11 terror attacks happened, Trump raced down to ground zero. He used his own money to help pay for recovery efforts. He was a hero. He was a hero to America, to New York, until he came down that escalator in 2015 and decided to run for president as a Republican. All of a sudden, now he's become persona non grata.
That's right. That's right. And he will be a hero again. And that's the truth, because
I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen here. You know, anybody who thinks they know what's going to happen is like lying to you. But I just, this idea that when people are charged with multiple crimes in multiple jurisdictions, that it is made convenient or easy for them is just a lie. It just is. It's not generally made convenient. Sometimes, yeah, you can, you know, your legal team can be like, hey, you know, we have another matter. Can we push this back a couple weeks so that we can make sure that we're prepared for all these things? And a lot of times, yeah, maybe the court will let you do that. And I don't see the court not allowing that in this case. But again, we'll see. We'll have to see what's going on. Up next, someone who is not going to win the primary. It is Chris Christie. He is responding to probably calls for him to drop out because he's polling really low. And he's going to suggest that just maybe everybody else should drop out so that Chris Christie can win.
Speaking of the 2024 race and Trump, he wrote today that you, all caps, should drop out of the race. He is going nowhere and is very bad for the Republican Party. What's your response to that?
He only wishes I was going away. And it's great, you know, for me, Caitlin, to live rent-free in Donald Trump's head. Obviously, he was watching the interview as I was doing it. I was laying out the truth about him, and that's one thing he cannot stand, is when someone who's credible, someone who's
Chris Christie's not credible,
prosecutor for 7 years, running the 5th largest office in the country, who was 130-0 in political corruption prosecutions when I was U.S. attorney. He knows I'm not just some politician talking about his problems. I'm someone who has done it and done it well. And I know how deep his problems are and how much they're damaging both the Republican Party and the country. And I'm not getting out of this race. And maybe he should think about getting out of the race, since he'll be spending most of March and half of April in a courtroom in Washington, D.C., not fighting the fight against Joe Biden like I'll be doing every day.
Watching these two trade barbs is kind of funny. Yeah, this guy's not going to win. He should, I don't know why he's not just taking that lobbyist money. Not that being a lobbyist is good or whatever, and that revolving door is bad, where you get a political office and then you just go lobby some of the people that you're already familiar with and use your influence. But I don't know why he's not doing that. He's not going to win. I think he's probably polling under 10%, and I don't think he'll even if through some crazy turn of events, Donald Trump drops out. I still don't think Chris Christie's going to be above 10%. I think if Trump were to drop out, I think it's DeSantis runs away with it. But anyway, we'll see. So here's this guy, Ryan Goodman. He was on CNN talking about the Mark Meadows testimony and all this. We got two clips here.
Pin him down in it because Meadows had emailed about the need for someone to coordinate the people who were the fake electors, and asked about that. Meadows tried to explain, quote, "It was mentioned to me that there was litigation going on and that you had to have a provisional or conditional elector, and what I didn't want to happen was for the campaign to prevail in certain areas and then not have this. It was brought," he asked, "why did you not want that to happen?" Meadows says, "Well, because I know I would get yelled at if we had not." "By whom?" he's asked. And Meadows then says, "By the President of the United States." How bad is that for Meadows and for Trump, Ryan?
It's very bad. I would imagine that their defense counsel are quite worried about that testimony. It's bad for President Trump because Meadows is directly pointing the finger at him by saying he would have yelled at me if I didn't do this. That means that President Trump is directly involved in the false electors scheme. That's the kind of evidence that prosecutors need, and it also shows the intensity of President Trump's interest in it. Not only that, but Meadows is saying he would have yelled at me if I didn't do it. That alone is also a violation of the Hatch Act. It's not just that President Trump was involved in the false elector scheme, but he's getting his chief of staff to do it. And the chief of staff knows if I don't do this, he's going to yell at me. That is a Hatch Act violation, one of the only provisions of the Hatch Act that actually do apply to the president. You're not allowed to, as president, tell an employee or intimidate an employee into engaging in political activity on behalf of a candidate. What else is that? And then the last is, for Meadows, it's horrible for him. His entire argument is based on, as you've described it, that he was taking everything he was doing was within his governmental authority in the office of the chief of staff. But he is saying in his own words, the reason I did this was to preserve an option for the campaign. I didn't want to have it such that the campaign would be left without these provisional electors. That's a pure campaign trying to win the election type issue. There's nothing about the federal government's authority with respect to that particular item. And there he is saying it at the end of the day, after lunch, after they had quizzed him for the beginning of the entire day in the morning. And here he just admits it at the end that it was for purely the idea of trying to preserve Trump's options.
Yeah. So that's weird, though, being like, oh, my boss will yell at me, like when you're the chief of staff for the president. Like, that's weird. I feel kind of weird about that. Like, what do you mean my boss is going to yell at me? That seems like something maybe that you, once you reach that level, that you kind of don't care if your boss yells at you or whatever, because you're like you could just quit that job and go be a lobbyist. I don't understand. I think the guy's trying to save his own ass is what he's doing. Because like, not like Mark Meadows is like the world's most credible person either. That's the problem with all this. It's like, I don't think any of these people are very believable. And so I think this is going to be difficult. This is going to be one of the craziest trials ever, I think. I hope I hope it's televised. That's all I'm saying. It'll be great. The ratings will be fantastic. Here's the second clip from that interview.
Ryan, I want to ask you about another instance we learned of, and it has to do with Cleta Mitchell and an exchange during Meadows' testimony about it. She, of course, was a non-White House lawyer who was on that Raffensperger call about trying to overturn election results in Georgia. He was asked, did you have any role in bringing Miss Mitchell then to advise the president on any campaign-related issue? He answers, I asked Miss Mitchell to come down and volunteer early on to Georgia, to volunteer when it looked like the election results were going to be close. Why did you do that? Meadows' response, because I felt like we needed a number of attorneys on both sides because it was going to be close. Is he making the prosecution's point for them? Is there any part of that he can wiggle out of?
No. He cannot wiggle out of it. And yes, he's making the prosecution's point. That is gold for the prosecution. And also it came at the end of the day. And he has no other alternative. It has been reported that this is what he did, but now it's coming out of his own mouth. He's specifically asked, like, who brought her on? It's him. Why did you bring her on? He explains, to help the campaign balance out its lawyers in Georgia. And that's just kind of like, it's almost like game over, because it does mean that he's acting on behalf of the campaign. It's game over. It should probably be game over for getting the case into federal court, because he needs to say I was doing everything within my office. And it's also game over for the defense that he would otherwise try to mount. He's trying to say, I also have sovereign immunity. What is sovereign immunity? What is that? It's immunity if you are acting within your office. The actual test is if you go beyond your office in your conduct, you don't get it. So he doesn't get it. And I should add one more point to it, which is just the facts of the matter. If you look at his testimony, the entire testimony is built on this idea. Everything I did was as the chief of staff. And then it comes out under cross-examination, the rest, that's not true. I do think Jack Smith will have to look at this transcript and think, are we going to think about perjury charges? Because it's that much of a convergence from what he had said and initially and what his position is, and then he has to flip later and say, okay, I acknowledge it.
Anthony, do you think that's true?
Yeah, I think Mark Meadows
great suit, Anthony.
had a bad day in court. I was able to watch the.
So I think they all do this though, right? I think like the chief of staff for the White House during the election is always doing stuff for the campaign. I don't think this is anything special. I think this is the chief. I couldn't imagine during a re-election process, a president's chief of staff not doing things for the campaign. The thing is, it's a violation of, they were saying, the Hatch Act. And like, you're like, at least fucking cover your tracks. Like, I don't know. Like, this guy seems like he's dumb and did nothing essentially to cover his tracks to give himself any plausible deniability here, because he's dumb. Anyway, Cocaine Don Jr. mad that other people are using the Trump, the photo of Trump's like mugshot to grift. I thought about using it to grift, but I was like, I don't want to put out a shirt with a mugshot on it.
And just dedicate it to there. I don't feel right about profiting from it. I get other people have made very good living doing the MAGA merch, even if none of the money actually goes towards the campaign or the cause. Think of it, maybe it's a marketing expense. I can't do that. I wouldn't feel right doing it. I'd probably actually get killed in the press doing it, thinking about that now. But it's important to have it done. So if you guys go to shopdonjr.com, I'll put the link up on the bottom. You guys can see it here. Check out all the merch. I'm going to take all of the profits from that. I'm going to give it to the Legal Defense Fund to push back against some of the insanity, the miscarriage of justice here. I'll let you guys know how much we end up making. I did that Thursday night. I figured, again, everyone else is going to be doing it. Many people will get rich. Most are not doing anything with it other than probably lining their own pockets. And, that's the nature of capitalism. But I figured if you're going to buy it, this is a good place to do it. And I'm going to put that money towards the cause.
So he is selling
so at least you can feel good about that yourselves as well if you want it. But
so he is doing
of course,
it. Okay, so he's like, I'm not going to do it, but actually I am. And here's where you can buy it. All right. Whatever, dude. So this past Monday, we haven't done a Mark Levin clip in a while because honestly, fucking Mark Levin's usually pretty boring. Usually just kind of bog standard sort of Republican talking points, and it's other people talk about that stuff a lot, and we try to stay away from it. But this past Monday, I haven't seen this clip yet, but other people are saying that Mark Levin took Meltdown Monday to a whole other level on this one. Just a whole other fucking level.
Here's the crap indictment that all the legal analysts says this is where the problem is, right here. Not if we're a republic with a true rule of law. That's crap. Then we have, here's another one. Here we have the January 6th case. And I've told you before, what did he do, Mr. Smith? 1871 Klan Act. What? The Enron Act. The guy loves the Enron Act on obstruction and a financial fraud statute. Look, right here. Oh, my God. Crap. Mr. Smith goes to Washington, and Mr. Smith blows up the place. You know what this is? 100 pages of bull. I could take one section out of here. Let me ask you a question. Are you allowed to challenge a campaign in open and challenge its legitimacy? According to her, no. So put RICO aside and every other charge aside. She just charged somebody with a felony under state law for exercising their federal First Amendment free speech right. That's part of this. Ancient Rome believed in attorney-client privilege. Modern-day America does not. Can you name one targeted victim during the Stalin regime who was indicted in 4 different jurisdictions? Can you name one who was facing 91?
Well, to be fair, like under Stalin, he wasn't really big on due process. He got whacked.
Charges? Can you name one who was facing almost 1,000 years in prison? No. This is worse. Thousands of subpoenas. His kids were all brought in. Hundreds of witnesses and so forth. They had nothing.
Barron wasn't brought in, right?
Intended to sabotage his presidency. That's a police state. He's charged with crimes relating to election activity. He's charged with crimes relating to documents. He's charged with crimes relating to non-disclosure agreements. He's charged with crimes relating to campaign activity in one state. Ladies and gentlemen, why go through the motions of justice? Just hang the guy.
Whoa, that's crazy. Dude, that's not like even his brother or his favorite cousin or his uncle or anything. It's just some politician, man. Fucking get a hold of yourself. Like, I don't care if they fucking throw some politician in jail. I don't know, do you? Are you like hung up on politicians being like, oh, what I don't want them to do is throw a senator or the former president in jail? Fuck no. I don't know. Fucking I'm just not sad about it. And I shouldn't be. Neither should you, because you just shouldn't. So up next is Georgia Senator Brandon Beach. He says that nothing was done wrong here because Trump just asked the dude to find some votes. Now I think this one's a little bit. It's going to be a little bit hard to get people to on board with the prosecution on, but it's kind of. I think it was pretty clear what he was asking. So let's see what this guy has to say. Oh, he's a Georgia state senator, not the U.S. senator from the state of Georgia. This is just to clear that up here.
And I want to say this: there was no quid pro quo when President Trump asked Brad Raffensperger to go and find 11,780 votes. He didn't say, go find 11,000 votes and I will appoint you to something or give you a membership to one of my clubs. All he said is there was chaos. There was a lot of problems with.
So it's only a criminal conspiracy if you offer someone a membership to your golf club.
The drop boxes and the chain of custody. Go back and do audits and see if you can find votes. We think there was some fraud. And I do think that's going to be proven in this Fani Willis case. I think they're going to prove that there was fraud. And on the electors, by the Constitution, we had every right to have those electors. And if we didn't win the lawsuit, there was a pending lawsuit. And if we didn't win the lawsuit, then those electors were moot. And so we had every right per the Constitution to do that. And we better start fighting or we're going to lose. We'll be in the minority if we don't fight as Republicans.
You always get the least votes. You get less votes than the Democrats in almost every election. It is not a majority party. To be fair, though, sometimes the Democrats don't get the majority of the votes either, because there are small non-duopoly parties, and sometimes the Democrats get like 49% of the votes or 49.5% of the votes. Republicans get like 47 or 46 or something. So, but you're not the majority party. Anyway, here's John Eastman. I'm not sure he should be taking this interview because my understanding is that he's not doing himself any favors here by talking to the press. A lot of these people need to go about the business of shutting the fuck up, and it seems like they don't have good lawyers. If you're accused of a crime, go about the business of shutting the fuck up, let your lawyer talk for you, or don't even talk to the press at all, because you might say something you think is innocuous and you end up incriminating yourself.
John, and just again to clarify this, on January 6th, what did you want to happen? And how was that historically grounded? In the history of our country, how would that have taken place? So just so the viewers can understand what would have unfolded and how that would have ultimately been constitutional.
So there were, several things. Some people had urged that Vice President Pence simply had power to reject electors whose certification was still pending in legal contests.
I don't believe that, but go ahead. I don't believe that.
I don't
That's
either.
one thing I don't agree with.
And I explicitly,
dude, even Laura Ingram's like, nah.
Explicitly told Vice President Pence in the Oval Office on January 4th that even though it was an open issue under the circumstances we had, I thought it was the weaker argument, and it would be foolish to exercise such power even if he had it. What I recommended, and I've said this repeatedly, is that he accede to requests from more than 100 state legislators in the swing states to give them a week to try and sort out the impact of what everybody acknowledged was illegality in the conduct of the election.
I don't think everyone acknowledged it. Yeah, not everyone acknowledged it, but that was the argument that was being made, obviously. And there were obviously.
Look at her. She's like, oh, we're not going down for almost $1 billion again here.
Regularities that everybody had seen, but whether that was, whether it rose to the level of changing the outcome of the election, again, without a legal proceeding in the states that mattered, the argument ultimately was a difficult one to make. I mean, hence here we are.
Yeah, this guy shouldn't be taking interviews. First of all, he's not good at this. Secondly, he is under indictment and should shut the fuck up. I don't care who you are. what you're accused of. I don't give a fuck. If you have been indicted, accused of a crime, what you need to do is go about the business of shutting the fuck up. It is the best thing you could possibly do. I do not like John Eastman, but his attorneys should advise him to shut up. It's just any, like, I don't, like, who are these people's defense attorneys? Like, I don't understand. Like, you will never, ever meet a defense attorney that's like, boy, I really wish when my client was accused of this crime, I really wish that they would have spoken to the press and the police. You know, no defense attorney will ever say that. Anyway, we're just about out of this part of the show here, but this is pretty funny. This lady behind Peter Navarro here gives no fucks. Watch this. This is great.
Situational. Yes. Okay.
Why?
All right.
Yeah, right.
So here's the problem here. Decide, where's the CNN? CNN here? Is CNN here? Anybody want to own up to that? Here's the problem.
Hero.
Who's this? Come on.
Bro, you're already facing charges.
Yeah, I get it.
Go ahead and commit a crime.
So,
did you catch that?
Yes. Okay.
Why?
It's like, bro, you're already facing charges. Don't get another one. Because, I mean, it's just a sign, but technically, if somebody's holding a sign in public, you can't steal their sign. And she's like, bro, what are you doing? She was completely unflappable, unfazed by him. She was just cool as a cucumber. So here's Vivek Ramaswamy talking about how he would handle Ukraine if he was the president. Again, I think this guy is polling under 10%. And has no chance. I think he's probably running for president of the intellectual dark web, so far as I can tell. But here's what he has to say.
How will you handle the Ukraine? Yes. How will I handle Ukraine? We will end the war. We will do it without apology. I will do a deal with Vladimir Putin that advances American interests. Let's be honest. To do a good deal, everybody has to get something out of the deal. I've built my entire career. I've built multi-billion-dollar businesses. That's just
defrauding
people.
people.
You can't get a lasting deal done unless somebody gets something out of the deal. Here's what Putin gets, and I'm very honest about this. We'll freeze the current lines of control. Yes, that means he gets some of the Donbass region. We will further commit that NATO will never admit Ukraine to NATO. Those are things that even in most
the U.S. doesn't have the power to do that unilaterally, but go off.
Party you're not supposed to say out loud. But I will require something else in return. Putin has to exit his military partnership with China. The China-Russia military alliance is the actual biggest threat that we face militarily. What? And yet we're pushing Russia further into China's arms by arming Ukraine.
That's not going to happen.
Ukraine, while also deterring China from going after Taiwan. Because China's bet is that the U.S. won't want to take on two allied nuclear superpowers at the same time. But if Russia's not in China's camp...
What the fuck? No, that wouldn't happen. Russia and China have been allies. They've had, I believe, as somebody in chat was saying, like a defensive pact since like right after World War II. It's like a pretty old alliance that goes back to the days of the Soviet Union, and it's been that way for a very long time. And I don't think that's not an ask that you would get. We'd be like, oh, what we need you to do is, your most powerful ally. Yeah, you need to not really be allied with them anymore. Like, no matter what you think about all this, like nobody's going to do that, right? Like that's like somebody like having a negotiation with, I don't know, fucking the United Kingdom and being like, all right, well, we'll give you most of what you want, but you got to not be allied with the USA anymore. They'd be like, no. It'd be like, and first, like, how do you even enforce that? What do they just say? What do they say? Okay, well, we'll get out of that. Then what? And then he goes and talks to Xi Jinping and goes, this idiot thinks that I'm just stopping our defensive pact. He's like, I just told him yes, because that guy's an idiot. Up next, here's this is great. This guy went on to the Sean Hannity show and lied to Sean Hannity, and here's Sean Hannity calling him on it, which is weird. But also, Trump or Fox is not in the tank for this guy, right? They know he's going to lose, so there's nothing. Sean Hannity like risks nothing by contradicting this guy, and by contradicting him, I mean he said, "Well, you'll see here."
Go over some of the issues, though. You know, you said aid to Israel, our number one ally, only democracy in the region, should end in 2028, and that they should be integrated with their neighbors. I have an exact quote. You want me to read it?
That's actually... Yeah, I can tell you the exact quote. What I said is it would be a mark of success if we ever got to a point in our relationship with Israel, if Israel never needed the United States' aid. And Sean, you know how politics is played. A lot of the other professional politicians who have been threatened by my rise have used that statement to say that I would cut off aid to Israel. That's not correct. I've been...
I wanted to hear the quote because this dude's a liar. This dude's a liar and a fraud. This guy's companies, he like fucked over all of his investors and shit. Like, I ain't crying for his investors, but like what the fuck? I mean, I am critical of the nation state of Israel, the Likud party, the Home party, et cetera, but it's political suicide for anybody in either party who's running for president to just be like, oh, by 2028, we should stop military aid. Political suicide. This guy, I don't even think he's really running for president. I think he just is trying to raise his own profile. And here's that weirdo Clay Clark who does that Reawaken America tour that we watch sometimes on Conspiracy Bingo. Here's him talking about Vivek Ramaswamy. And his criticisms are probably quite different than mine.
Maybe it's not meant to make sense. Maybe we're just supposed to hear this guy, sounds like Trump and he's, a billionaire. Maybe that's what we're supposed to know. That's maybe. Okay, so moving on to our next fact. He established Roivant Sciences in 2014. Now, this company, tell me about this. What about this indicates he's a genius? He lost $433 million in 2020. He lost $698 million in 2021. He lost a whopping $1.12 billion in 2022. And according to Bloomberg, which isn't a conservative website, they're predicting he's going to lose.
Bloomberg tends to be center right.
$1.03 billion this year. How is it possible that this man has lost $3 billion of money, yet deposited $950 million of profits into his own bank account after taking the company public? How does that work?
Because that's how this works. Like, for a long time, Amazon wasn't profitable, right? But Jeff Bezos was rich as fuck the whole time that Amazon wasn't profitable. It doesn't make sense. It's like fucking counterintuitive. But I mean, he just collects his salary and bonuses based on whatever metrics the board of directors and the investors allow him to collect his salary and bonuses based on. It's fucked up. But again, I mean, he's just losing investor money. Anyway, don't worry. Glenn Beck will be running in 2028, and he'll I don't know, fucking save us all, something like that.
A story I've never shared before. Mike Lee, and I think it started as a joke. Mike Lee used to say to me all the time, "You should run for president." And I'm like, "Are you out of your mind?" And he called me one day about a year ago, and we were just chatting. My wife finally came in. She's like, "What are you two talking about? Wrap it up." And I said, "He's trying to convince me to run for president." And I'm like, "Mike, that's the dumbest thing. I have this where it ended." I said, "I have no chance of winning." And he laughed and he said, "Oh, of course not. I'm not saying you should run for president because I think you could win." Mm-hmm. Somebody needs to articulate where we are and what we face and who we have always been and need to remember who we are. He said, we need a storyteller.
Okay, well, that's a dumb reason to run for office, but I do think people do it. And I think in 2016, I think Sanders was mostly running like as an issue candidate to try to bring like a public option or single payer healthcare into the conversation. And I don't, then it turned out that he found out he had a chance probably 6 months too late. But yeah, Glenn Beck, I think Glenn Beck, if he was running right now, he'd be polling about as high as Chris Christie, right? Like, he's right. People don't like him. He's like not a very likable guy. And if he wants to get his ideas out there, he's got his whole fucking Blaze network to do it. It's, it's not like he doesn't have the ear of anyone. So a friend of Peter Thiel's, Blake Masters, who his run for Senate last time around, is going to run for Senate again and has a real cringy ad.
Wow. Hopefully you can hear how quiet that is. Whisper quiet. It's pretty cool. Made in Germany.
Like, what's he doing?
Just a little bit warm. Oop, very hot. That's definitely a fun and quiet gun. The weirdest thing is just being able to sort of feel, because there's no sound, right? You just feel the bullet, hear it.
Yeah, I think this is actually a cringy ad from his last run. But yeah, he's Peter Thiel's he's running again because Peter Thiel says so. You know, that guy reminds me of, now that I think about it, if anybody's like a regular viewer of like the late night on this show, you know, that guy is trying to live forever by like injecting his son's blood. Blake Masters gives me that guy vibes. I forget that guy's name now, but he sort of reminds me of that guy a little bit. He looks a little like him, but like more like the vibe. It's not so much just how he looks. It's that vibe. What's that? Brian Johnson is the guy's name. Anyway, it looks like Marjorie the Gathering has accidentally created an ad, a campaign ad for the current president, Joe Biden.
Breaking news, Republican Marjorie Taylor Greene has donated Joe Biden a campaign advertisement out of the kindness of her heart that he approves. Let's take a look.
Joe Biden had the largest public investment in social infrastructure and environmental programs that is actually finishing what FDR started, that LBJ expanded on, and Joe Biden is attempting to complete. Programs to address education, medical care, urban problems, rural poverty, transportation, Medicare, Medicaid, labor unions. And he still is working on it.
You Republican Marjorie idiot. Taylor Greene has donated Joe Biden.
You idiot. God, why would she, why didn't, whatever. That's pretty funny. Although it's only funny because it's just taken out of context or whatever. But that's a pretty good ad by the Biden-Harris campaign there, just taking what Marjorie the Gathering says. Now, here's one Mr. Bernie Sanders not running this time. Probably never going to run again. He's probably going to retire pretty soon, actually. He's getting a little bit old, and that's fine. I bet he's not going to be a lobbyist when he retires, right? But he's got some advice for the Democratic Party, which I think is probably actually pretty good advice.
Look, what I'm going to be talking about today is that we have got to have the guts as a country to face straightforwardly the enormous crises that exist. You know, we can put them under the rug and ignore them, in which case we're not going to have much of a country. If Democrats are serious about winning elections and addressing the major crises that we face, they must go further. They must embrace the working class of this country in a way which hasn't been done in almost 60 years. Frankly, it is absolutely absurd that given the anti-worker ideology and policies of the Republican Party, that party now has more working class support than Democrats. It should be deeply worrying that, according to recent polls, Democrats are losing more and more support within the Latino community and even among African American men. That has got to change, not just for the well-being of the Democratic Party, but for the future of our country. With all of the new technologies that are being developed, do you know what? We are in a unique position in world history to end austerity economics and create a decent society for all people. Technology is not a bad thing. It is bad if machines throw working people out on the street. It is not bad if we reduce the work week to 32 hours. The Democrats, once and for all, must reject the corporate wing of the party and empower those who are prepared to create a grassroots, multiracial, multi-generational, working class party in every state of the country.
Yeah, but so that's generally been what I have thought too. The problem is it's like they have to jump, right? They have to be willing to jump. They have to be willing to just do it, right? You can't sort of phase that in. Because if you start trying to phase that in, what's going to happen is they're going to piss off donors, and then they're not going to have the ability to like replace that if they go halfway. If they go all in on it, yeah, I think that they'd be able to get a lot of small donations like what Bernie Sanders did in his campaigns, but they have to just fucking do it. And they're scared. People in power are scared. They don't want to lose their power, and that's not great. They don't want to lose their access to millionaires and billionaires. They don't want to lose any of that because they're comfortable, because they're sitting in power, and they don't want to lose the ability to, if they do lose their election, go work for those people. Go work for those people who are funding all of this. So unless the entire party is willing to like jump, then that's not going to happen, because you can't do that piecemeal. If you try to do it piecemeal, it's a disaster. So up next, we got this thing that's near and dear to my heart. I forget which government agency sort of suggested a reduction in the amount of drinks to like 2 drinks a week. It's a suggestion, obviously, but you got people out there fear-mongering about it, lying about it, saying that they're going to try to limit you to 2 beers a week. And here's Ted Cruz, who I think probably just shouldn't be allowed to drink alcohol or go to drinking holes, establishments, anywhere that they serve alcohol, or just like anywhere. And here he is going to fearmonger about this, probably in a creepy, weird, and unconvincing way.
State has now done that for new construction. They're trying to go after and regulate ceiling fans. I got to tell you, it's hot in Texas. We don't want to get rid of our ceiling fans. And now these idiots have come out and
Are they trying to get rid of ceiling fans?
said, drink 2 beers a week. That's their guideline. Well, I got to tell you, if they want us to drink 2 beers a week, frankly, they can kiss my ass.
No, okay. Senator, I brought a beer to drink with you. I'll drink this non-alcoholic beer with you because I'm not allowed to drink on camera, but...
Oh, Newsmax has standards, and one of those is you can't drink on camera.
I'll have a sip in the meantime.
Well, look, I got to say, have you ever seen a brand do more damage to itself than Bud Light, which single-handedly seem to destroy themselves? So I'm glad you're not drinking a Bud Light. Personally, I'm fond of Shiner Bock, which is a good Texas brand. I've been to the Shiner Brewery
Shiner Bock is pretty good,
Texas, and I recommend it. And I promise you, this is not alcohol-free beer down here.
No, and by the way, the one I have right after the show won't be alcohol-free either, and it may just be
So it's just the guidelines. They do this all the time, right? When guidelines for your like healthy eating and whatever come out, like people just lie about them. They're like, oh, they're trying to limit you. It's like, no, these are just guidelines. People don't obey health guidelines. There's nobody going around like trying to tell you like how many beers you can buy. It's probably bad for you to have more than 2 drinks a week. I mean, I have more than 2 drinks a week. I think a lot of people that watch my show have more than 2 drinks a week. It's probably not good for our health, but I think it might be the Food and Drug Administration or somebody telling you this, that it's bad for your health. All they're doing is giving you information. You can do with it as you please.
Across the board, going at the idea that they might propose that Americans be limited to 2 beers a week. This is the kind of petty nanny state interference that most Americans will find crazy.
And of course, the rumors that the masks and the mandates could be coming back as well. Those numbers will go up. I think you're right, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
So these are just guidelines there. And it's probably, like I said, it's probably better for my health if I have 2 drinks a week. I don't have no 2 drinks a week. I probably drink too much. But like, they're not going to come to my house and make me only have 2 drinks a week. Like, they're just not going to. It would be impossible. And plus, like, the alcohol lobby is a pretty powerful lobby. So the alcohol lobby is probably you wouldn't be able to limit people, because first of all, it'd be just bad for business, right? Like bars, clubs, entertainment, concerts, restaurants. A lot of restaurants would probably go under if they didn't serve alcohol, because there's not even at like a kind of a nice restaurant, the margin on the food ain't that high. The margin is all on the alcohol. So this is just dumb. This is not gonna happen. There's no rule that's gonna happen. And people who drink are not gonna limit themselves to 2 beers a week. Unless they're already just somebody who maybe has a beer after work Friday and then one on Saturday afternoon. And those people are out there, and those people are fine. And like, I don't know, they're fucking way healthier than I am probably. Anyway, up next we got Waters, Jesse Waters, on what would happen if Fox went off the air.
These are not essential workers in the entertainment landscape. There's only 2 items that if you took it off TV, there'd be a revolution in this country: football and Fox News. You can take anything else off, television, cable, or broadcast, and the country stays the same. If you remove college and pro football and this channel, this country would not tolerate it.
But it wouldn't, like, it's, if I don't think Fox News is going off the air anytime soon. Like, they're very profitable. But if it were to go off the air, it would be because it stopped making money, right? It stopped making money for its investors. And like, that would just be the way the cookie crumbles. I mean, there will be a day, right, where like maybe all of the networks that we watch now no longer exist, just because times change. And yeah, I don't think, like, if Fox News became, like, lost money, started losing money, I don't think the investors would give 2 shits, like, if people would be mad about it. They invest in these businesses to make money. So here's more of Jesse Waters. Here's him asking the tough questions about remote work.
I actually agree with Richard. I think that it depends on the job. It depends on the person. There are ways that you can hold people accountable if they're not producing from home. But I brought this up last time. I know a girl who's an Amazon software engineer, and
that's probably a woman.
She goes to the office, and it's very distracting for her because they have these open office spaces, and she codes a lot more when she's in her space doing
Katie,
deep work.
What about office romance?
What about Jesse?
Returning to the office.
You don't want to go there.
You have no office romance.
That's the third round. Just stop on your head.
Jesse, I don't think
we need families in this country. We need
child.
You know, I'm not going to let you get in any trouble.
Can I say one more thing, though, real quick?
Well, they're all yelling at the same time.
Because Jesse doesn't need to talk.
Even fucking box wine Janine Pirro was like, shut the fuck up. And yeah, a lot of people do meet their partners at work, and that's generally fine. But like, that's not like really an argument against remote work. Up next, we got I don't ever really run these Facebook reels on this channel because they're messy. They don't really play right. But here is, you know how we watch a lot of city council and board of supervisors meetings? Well, this is actually somebody good at one of those meetings.
Council, I'm here to discuss artificial intelligence. AI is going to take all of our jobs and render us useless. And I, for one, am stoked. I hate jobs. I had a job once, and everyone there talked in weird voices. AI is going to 86 all of that. But we'll still need money. That is why I'm asking the government to step up and make sure we're breaded. We are proposing a small payment plan, or small PP, of $10G a month for every citizen so we can party and look hot and enjoy our free time. Now, we can't afford to just sit back and have AI bust through and not have a plan. We got to make sure people have food and houses so we can party and rage in peace. So instruct AI to pay all of us, and then you dudes can retire gracefully before you get replaced, and we'll see you at the beach. The bonfires will be epic. Everybody will be hot. What up, council?
Yeah, that guy he has my vote. I mean, it's obviously a joke, but there's like a real like argument there. That's like, you know, as these as people are replaced with automation, we don't know necessarily if it'll be like other times where, you know, technology has actually just enabled more and different kinds of jobs for people. So that guy, I like that guy's idea of like everybody just raging on the beach. It's obviously not realistic, but you know, I mean, you don't know what happens unless you try. So up next we got one of my favorite genres of videos. This is a video that basically somebody complaining about Right Wing Watch, and then Right Wing Watch taking the video of them complaining about Right Wing Watch and, you know, putting it on Right Wing Watch. Oh, great website you got there, Twitter. Let's try this again. Anybody listening to the podcast version of the show? The show is live.
How long are you going to put up with this, America? How long are you going to let these people in Right Wing Watch? I know that you love clips. I hope you play every bit of this clip. I hope you spread it from shore to shore, because I am telling you that what you're doing is of the devil. And in the name of Jesus, we come against every lie you try to put out.
That's like when I said one of my favorite genres of videos, even though that was real short, is just somebody complaining about Right Wing Watch, and then Right Wing Watch being like, we'll go ahead and run that on our Twitter. Here's this is from Elijah's List. This is that Steve Schultz guy, and he's got Johnny Enlow on. Johnny Enlow is one of those QAnon people, also into numerology, not gematria like that -48 guy, but a different form of numerology. And they're going to talk about how Billy Graham, not from Bill Graham Presents, but Billy Graham, how Billy Graham sold his soul to the devil.
Yeah, Billy Graham was a 32nd degree Mason. And
I mean, that's an absolute known fact that Billy Graham was a 32nd degree?
It was one of his old books. Are
you saying the 32nd would know that Satan is who you're serving?
Yeah.
That's quite a thing you're saying, but Johnny, you're saying Billy Graham was a 32nd degree Mason.
And there's many big names right now. If I started naming them, that'll be for another program, but they are as well. And by 32nd degree, now you may be at that point so blackmailed that your options are limited, that you could fear, if I tell the truth, they will expose this about me or whatever else. But you know, do a whole study on what it takes to become a 32nd degree Mason, and it's not a minor adjustment. You have to do
bad things.
You have to do bad things. You sold your soul to the devil in some kind of way.
So, a couple things. One, I don't think Billy Graham was a Mason, but two, like the Masons are just like, it's just like a bunch of old men who hang out in like a weird building, and like it's like a fraternal organization. They don't have any power. I don't think it's satanic. I think a lot of the people in the Masons are probably Christians. I think it's just all crazy talk, but it is funny. And I do like to run clips from Elijah's List every once in a while, because that guy is out there and his guests are out there. Unfortunately, we haven't had many clips of him with Kat Kerr lately. I don't know if anybody knows about Kat Kerr. Kat Kerr thinks she goes to heaven and talks to people and then comes back and reports to us about it, which is weird. Anyway, this is Marty Grisham at a Pastors for Trump event saying that actually God's not in control, which is a weird thing for a Christian to say, but you know.
One of the problems is people think God's in control. And even with me saying that, I can tell you, some of you are like, tilt, but God is in control. Let me tell you something. My God is not in control when 50 million babies are slaughtered. I'm going to say that again. My God is not in control when the darkness has done what it's done to the little ones. My God is not in control. When children in our own school where we live, teachers sit at the table in the teacher's lounge, and they're witches, and they're teaching the children.
There's a witch table in the teacher's lounge? That sounds great. Teachers are like doing a witch's brew, creating the human stew.
And they're bragging about it. No. So let me talk to you. Go ahead and sit back down. Why do you keep standing up? Let me tell you something about my God. My God is glorious. My God is majestic. He is full of splendor, full of majesty. He's powerful. He is a God of love. He is amazing in every way. But he's not in control. Because, well, just sit, put your little seatbelt on, sweetie. I'm going to tell you about it. He made us in control. And the reason why 50 million babies are killed and the reason why all the stuff has happened
That's a lot.
The church has not done their job. But that's why you're here. So you know I'm not preaching at you, I'm preaching with you, because you are not the problem, you're the solution. That's why you're here tonight. The problem didn't want to come. The problem are the pastors that refuse to talk about politics and putting Christians in a place to be able to move government and the laws of the land and implement the laws of God.
That's wild. I think that's blasphemous to say that God isn't in control. I don't know. Pastors. We're going to go ahead and look up that Pastors for Trump event during red light. Just don't get it twisted. That shit's probably just as wild as the Clay Clark events. Yeah, I think that's blasphemous, right? To say that God is in control. And also, he's talking about 50 million abortions. I wonder over what time frame that is, because that seems like a lot if it's just every year. I don't think that's correct. All right, everybody, don't worry about the hurricane. It has been rebuked.
We know that all nature and the warm water and the currents and the weather and the science, we respect all that. But in the name of Yeshua, we thank you now. You will be still. You will not be a category 3. You will not be a category 1. You will not even be a category at all. In fact, you lose your name. We cancel you. We cancel you.
Cancel culture coming for the fucking hurricane.
Of Yeshua, we cancel you, Idalia, and we decree and declare that we push you onto a sleeper mode. We thank you, Father God, that this will downgrade to a tropical storm. We thank you that you will only approach the land when the tide is low. We rebuke the reports of the sea surge and the storm surge that's supposed to go in and flood. We rebuke the flooding. We speak protection over the trees that they will be protected.
So this stuff seems funny, but like if people listen to this and then don't leave when a hurricane's coming, that's terrible, terrifying. But I don't even know who these people are, so I don't think that a lot of people are like going to be like, wow, this weird guy on YouTube or whatever actually told me that like that they've rebuked the hurricane. I think most people, religious or not, are generally have a healthy fear of a fucking hurricane, and they're like, I gotta go if that's what has been advised. If they're near enough the coast, or if it's a big enough hurricane when they're not near the coast, that by the time it gets inland, it's still gonna fuck their shit up. So we can be thankful for that. Anyway, we got a couple more before we go into red light this week. We got this guy here, he got his virology PhD from the University of Facebook, which is where everybody should get their virology PhD.
Hi, my name's Cormac, and I got my PhD in virology from the University of Facebook. It was really great being able to take the lectures from home and doing the course on demand. And after a long 4 days of doing my own research, I got the news that I was an expert in virology. How crazy is that? The University of Facebook has changed my life in so many ways. Previously, I've gotten my qualification as a fitness professional, and now I know the secret to health and longevity is to fast for 60 days straight, shame everyone and anyone who ever considers having sugar, and I'm on a strict diet of drinking my own piss first thing in the morning. Yeah, getting the doctorate in virology was really, really tough, but thankfully the university broke the information down into digestible, bite-sized memes, which weren't peer-reviewed at all, which was crucial. I now have the qualifications to go and do something that I'm really passionate about, which is sending abusive messages to family, friends, and frankly, every random stranger on the internet that I can meet.
Wake up, sheeple, you're all brainwashed.
Ma'am, it doesn't matter that you had a lung transplant, it's all bullshit. I mean, what's next? I mean, the possibilities are endless. I'm looking into their courses on international trade relations.
Nah, you can't be doing that with the Taliban.
I might become a brain surgeon.
Yeah, you see, the brain tumor is caused by the 5G, you see.
Or really, whatever's just trending that day on the news, I'll qualify in, because it's important to upskill, you know? For anyone thinking about going back to university, I know it can be daunting, but it's never been easier before to enroll in Facebook and learn whatever it is that you want on whatever topic under the sun you can think of.
The University of Facebook. It's crazy what you'll learn.
It's really funny. I like these, but I mean, I don't think a lot of people think that they become an expert or whatever. I think they just think they know things that they don't. Anyway, we got a couple more here. This is anti-LGBTQ Pastor Jack Hibbs on the Charlie Kirk show, and he has a campaign to just out all the students. Shout out to Right Wing Watch. Could not do this show without them.
As soon as somebody sent me something that said Chino Valley School Board fights for parents' rights, I said, I know Jack Hibbs is involved. I know that somebody from his church
I think we watched Chino Valley School District on the first episode of that we did of our new show, Public Comment, on Tuesday nights.
Hold my gut instinct, Jack, because I've visited your church so much and I've got to know your flock. I have now learned that my suspicion was correct. All of the Chino Valley USD school board members who's voted for parental disclosure go to your church. So, Jack, take as much time as you need, build out the story, because now the California Attorney General is suing the school board for saying that parents have a right to know if their 14-year-old is transitioning their gender.
Yeah, exactly right, Charlie. In fact, the president of the school board, Sonia Shah, she is from our church. You're exactly right. 4-1 victory on what? They voted 4-1, Charlie. This is quite technical, so follow me through on this. One of the young men that we had elected to the state assembly, Bill Aselli, he immediately crafted, once he was elected to Sacramento, he immediately crafted Assembly Bill 1314. And that was simply this, a proactive bill that would require that the school district inform, or the school where a child is attending, informs the mother or the father that their child is in any way, shape, or form transitioning or has expressed desire to be in the state of transitioning. In other words, please tell the parents. That's what we're asking for. So the California State Legislature read his bill and refused to let it go to the floor, Charlie. They banned it from the floor. They stonewalled it. They didn't let it get to the floor.
That just means the bill didn't get out of committee. This happens to all kinds of different bills.
Thinking he was defeated. What we did is that we read his bill and we took the verbiage from that bill and then introduced it to our unified school district school board, and they voted and adopted the verbiage. So what was supposed to go state law turned out to be defeated there at the state, not even heard, but that's okay. Guess what happened? We found out something, Charlie, that the most powerful politics is local. And so what happened is the school board voted to adopt his verbiage. And since that time, Charlie, we're looking at Murrieta School District. We're looking at Orange School District,
wow.
Temecula School District. 4 school districts have adopted the verbiage, and they are standing strong. We've got 5 others in the state of California coming online to do the same. Charlie, this is a groundswell of involvement.
Outing people is wrong. The only caveat there is, like, if there's a powerful person or a politician or whatever who is advocating for taking away rights from, like, gay people or whatever, and you find out they're gay, out that motherfucker, because, like, it might stop them in their tracks and they might stop what they're doing. But other than that, regular people, school kids, nah, it's always wrong. Always fucking wrong. So everybody, I don't know if you know this, but it is actually really bad to comment with things like lulz, L-U-L-Z, when a public intellectual makes any kind of post or a video. And this great website, Twitter, is not letting me play this video. Ah, here it goes. It'll let me play it now, I believe.
And lulz culture online, LOL culture, lulz culture, that's a manifestation of sadism, right? And we know, too, the researchers who have been investigating
manifestation of sadism to laugh at something.
Have shown that the real online troll demon types are very high in the dark tetrad traits.
The troll demons. That sounds like fucking Madison Starmoon. I think she has called me a troll demon before. And people just go in lulz. People just laughing at you. Like, I don't know, if you're like, even if you're like me and I'm not, I'm not extremely popular, if people want to laugh at what I say, that's fucking fine. They can laugh at what I say. I don't give a shit. Like, these people are all have very thin skin, and they're like, oh, people laughing at me must be troll demons. I don't know, maybe they just think what you're saying is silly. So we got one more here. We got our friend over at the Bad Stats has decided to take one of this guy's tweets and turn it into a bit of a song.
When they come for you, and they will remember your words today and realize the part you played in your own demise. Obituary. She perished, not tragically, but stupidly.
Oh, let's say we play that again. I think we play that again. That was pretty funny.
When they come for you, and they will remember your words today and realize the part you played in your own demise. Obituary. She perished, not tragically, but stupidly.
That's my new favorite song. So anyway, we're only an hour 20 into the stream, but the podcast portion of the show is over. I do try to do 2 hours of content for the podcast, but I can't always do it. This week, not a slow news week, but just not enough stuff that sort of fits our mold and the kind of things we want to talk about. So what I'm going to do, actually, we're going to go ahead and give away the patrons, the member show for free this week. Head on over to patreon.com/echoplex. This will be a freebie. You can get the post game. You can get all that stuff. And while you're there, think about becoming a member. $5 and up really helps us out. You can also get the same benefits at eplex.store. That's our swag shop powered by Fourth Wall. That helps even more because the split's better there. And if you are a member at any level there all month, you get 20% off of anything you buy, like my tinfoil hat or the Catterday shirt I'm wearing. You get 20% off of everything all month if you're a member over there. We're doing that for the Twitch September. We figured we'd celebrate over on Fourth Wall. So it's been the Plex. We do the show live every Sunday at 7 p.m. Pacific right here on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/EchoPlexMedia. And check out all our shows. We are live every night, but Monday night now, because of course I am a glutton for punishment and was like, well, we're going to add a show on Tuesday. Check out our newest live stream. Actually, on Tuesday, we do Down Ballot, and then we do Public Comment. Great show there. And as always, at the end of the show, we play Boomers by Periscope, and I will change the color of the lights in this room and, change the contents of my beverage, and we'll be back with our red light docket.
If you like what we're doing at Echoplex and aren't into Twitch, please join our Patreon at patreon.com/Echoplex. For $5, you can get every show from beginning to end sent to you as an MP3, even the stuff we bleep out because it's too spicy for Twitch. Echoplex would not be where we are today if it wasn't for the community support we receive. Find out all the ways you can support the show at echoplexmedia.com/support.